There isn't much time.
Don't keep calling me Herbert.
The doctor will see you now, Mr. Herbert.
Ah, Mr. Darling, open your jacket, will you? How are we feeling today?
Oh, we're fine, thanks. How are we?
Oh, we're fine, too. Open wide. Ah, splendid. You know, my young daughter thinks you're the cat's pajamas. Oh. Turn around, will you, Mr. Darling? Yes, I think she's bought every record you've ever made. Does this hurt?
No. Has she got my latest? D, darling.
How does it go?
D, darling, angel.
No, oddly enough, that's the one record of yours she doesn't like. Are you regular, Mr. Darling?
I was up until D, darling.
Take a deep breath, will you? How's the television show going?
All right, you know. Actually, I've been worried about my career lately. I think I've been overexposed.
Breathe out. Turn around. Back it up, will you? Deep breath. That's it.
There isn't much time. There isn't much time.
You know, I think you've got a touch of February fever, young man. However, we'll soon put that right. Breathe out. I think I can arrange a private ward for you at St. Jocelyn's. I'll get Sir Harry Pilkington to go over you with a fine-tooth comb. He'll probably suggest that Sir John Daylight Robbery gives you a short course on the cardio vibraphone at Bart's.
I didn't know he could play the vibraphone.
Who?
Lionel Bart.
No. Bart's Hospital.
I didn't know he had an hospital either.
Sir John will probably recommend a short holiday in the south of France, and if you can't go, he will.
That's Pilkington.
No, that's Daylight Robbery. After all, Mr. Darling, our health must come first. That's not strictly true, of course. Our health comes second. My check comes first.
It's a good job I'm on the panel, really, isn't it?
You mean you're not a private patient?
I mean, I'm on the panel.
There's nothing wrong with you, my lad, that a box of aspirins can't put right. Take 2 up, 2 down, shake well before use. Hit it.
Hey, man, I'm looking for Piccadilly Circus.
Will you please stop that infernal racket? Thank you. We in the Liberal Party are frequently and unjustly accused of having no alternative political policy to offer the country. This is nonsense. I can tell you here and now that we have several alternative political policies to offer the country.
Here.
For example, we believe in nuclear disarmament.
No, darling, we said we didn't believe in nuclear disarmament unless the others do it too.
Ah, yes. We don't believe in nuclear disarmament, but we do believe in the common market.
No, darling, remember we said we didn't believe in the common market unless it was allied to the Commonwealth.
Here, here.
There.
And furthermore, we believe in the United Nations.
No, darling. Don't you remember we decided to replace the United Nations with a world government?
Ah, yes, of course. We believe in a world government. And the Liberal Party, looking fearlessly to neither the left nor the right, will continue to drive straight down the middle of the road.
Here.
Here, here. And in conclusion, let me remind you that Lloyd George knew my father, and father knew Lloyd George. Lloyd George knew my father, father knew Lloyd George.
Pathetic, aren't they? No idea how to sell themselves. Oh, by the way, my name is Smooth. I represent the Plain Honest Truth Advertising Company. You know, we are the big public relations people in this country.
Oh, really?
Well, we ought to be. After all, we put the present government in power.
How can an advertising company do that?
Well, we didn't actually put them there. No, you do that. Our job is to convince you that they're all a splendid bunch of chaps. All the people we represent are splendid chaps. Like yourself, for instance.
But you don't represent me.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. The word on the grapevine is that you're not too happy about your career. Now, if we handled your account, I'd like to think that in 18 months, no, a year even, we could have the whole country darling conscious. We want everybody to think darling.
You mean I've become a household name? Like a soap powder.
Precisely, and that is where we of plain, honest truth come into our own. By harnessing your self-potential to a nationwide blanket push, press-wise and TV-wise, we can create a talent think darling-wise, except, of course, in the hard sell zones where we might have some trouble sales resistance-wise, but we'd counter-push with a blanket tour publicity-wise. You see, your sex potential makes you a very cushy sell teenage-wise, and come to that middle-aged housewife-wise.
What about February-wise?
You mean end of the world-wise?
Yes, wise.
Well, astrology-wise, these Indians are wise guys.
There isn't
But by harnessing their star
time,
qualities to their
Herbert.
interplanetary
There
potential,
isn't much
because of the
time.
position of Jupiter in relation to Mars and Uranus,
And I say to you, brothers, down with Mars and up with Uranus. Answer me this, brother. Why shouldn't we have a 2-hour tea break when the capitalists are enjoying another record year of tax-free profits?
But it isn't a record year. I can't give my last record away with a cup of Indian tea.
Ah, now, if you was to make that China tea, me and my brothers would lift your record up into the top 10 overnight.
But I don't want to be top of the tea parade. I'm a singer, not a shop steward.
Well, if you're not a shop steward, what are you doing on this picket?
I don't know. I'm worried about February.
There isn't much time, Herbert. There isn't much time.
And what do you know about February? Only fully paid members are supposed to know about February.
It's no secret. Everybody knows about it. It's just that nobody's doing anything about it.
You may think that nobody's doing anything about it, but they're ready at headquarters. And if the Americans make one false move, we'll blow them all to kingdom come.
And I say unto you, brethren, that the kingdom to come shall be the kingdom of heaven, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world. Herbert, the return of the prodigal. Tell me, my son, what is it that burdens your soul?
Well, I know I'm selfish, sir, and a sinner, and I know you're busy, but I thought you might know something about February.
Only the great architect knows what's going to happen in February. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. You see, my son, the good shepherd will bring his flock safely in from the stormy seas and anchor them in the harbor of the church. For I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. First book of Kings, chapter 22, verse 17.
Will Johnny Darling ever get back into the top 20? Pop Music Gazette, October 14, page 6.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Philippians chapter 2, verse 12.
Johnny Darling again refused Royal Command performance. Tim Parnelli Gazette, October 3, page 1.
And it seemed to me I heard a voice that spoke to me from out of the wilderness saying,
It's medicine time.
and there shall come a host of angels.
2 up, 2 down, and the Lord have mercy on your miserable soul. Lit it.
If there's a general election in February, the Conservatives will win by an overwhelming majority. This country's never had it so good.
Ha! Elvis, Adam, Connie, Cliff, Hank, Jet, if you call that having it good, my old man's a shop steward.
Harold Macmillan is the greatest Prime Minister this country's had since Anthony Eden. That jawline, that nose, them eyes firmly fixed on the ball as if to say,
If I'm not there by 10 o'clock, tell them to start without me. Yeah, I know all that, but what do his eyes say about February?
look, old man, I've got a house, a car, a television, a washing machine, oh, and a wife and a couple of kids, all on the HP. So what do I care about February? I'm living on borrowed time anyway.
Don't keep calling me February. I'm not an Herbert. I'm a Darling. My sex potential makes me a very cushy sell, teenage-wise, even if I have to give away a free packet of tea to everybody in the country. I'm not a singer. I'm an idiot.